So today we're going to talk about economic growth and development, and specifically about measuring the economic strengths and quality of life amenities in Champaign County, Ohio. So first of all, we're going to talk about what economic growth is and how it applies to this company specifically. So economic growth can be defined as the ability of the economy to produce greater levels of output. So this refers specifically to the production possibilities curve that we see right here. The production possibilities curve shows the maximum combinations of two outputs an economy can produce with available resources and technology. So if we're looking at this graph, we see that we have two lines here, one from 2000 and one from 2013. So to the left of the curve shows all of the attainable outputs, and to the right of the curve are the unattainable outputs. So we see from 2000 to 2013, this curve is shifting to the right, and that's a good thing. When it shifts to the right, it shows that your output is increasing, and the outputs that were unattainable at one point are now attainable. So how do we see this? How do we make this shift happen? Well, there are two ways that you can accelerate economic growth. And the first is a change in resources. If a company is able to gather more natural resources or gain more access to machinery or factories, then it can increase its production, and it can cause this curve to shift over to the right and increase its outputs. One of the key factors in this is that the increase in production must be in excess of capital worn out. So this specifically means that the money that you make from production should be greater than the money that you're losing in depreciation in the factories and machinery that you're using. Another way that you can accelerate economic growth is by changing technology. Any kind of change in technology is good change because it's increasing productivity and efficiency. So for example, years and years and years ago, when they learned how to turn a stone into a wheel, obviously that increased production. They were able to do things much easier. So that's the same now with technology. Technology is always getting better, and this is another way that we can create better efficiency and cause this shift to shift over to the right and increase production and increase profits. So what does this mean specifically for this company and for Champaign County? Well, obviously a company wants to make money, and so you're looking to expand and create a store in a new location. And you want to build a store in a location where there is economic growth, because economic growth shows that the business is likely to do well there because people have the money to spend and it's not in a state of recession. So we're going to look at different aspects of Champaign County and see if we can figure out if Champaign County is in a state of economic growth and would be a good area for you to build a store and be successful there. So you can determine economic growth by using economic indicators. And here we have some examples of economic indicators, the first being employment growth. So if the county, for example, has a very large employment growth over time, then that's a good thing because that means that businesses are doing well, they're able to hire more people, and employment is going up. So we also have unemployment rate, per capita income, percent in poverty. So percent in poverty, if the county has a very large percentage of people in poverty, then it's probably not a good place to start a business because people don't have the money that they can spend to just go shopping in your store, for example. We also have quality of life, and quality of life is a little bit more subjective than the other indicators that we have here. The other indicators you're able to use numbers to specifically say what's good and bad, and for quality of life, it's a little bit more up to your opinion. But it includes factors such as county history and heritage and human services and programs. So Champaign County has a population of 39,000, a median age of 40.3, and is 94.7 white. So the first indicators that we're going to look at are population and unemployment. So the population you can see in this graph, and you see from 1950 to about 2010, the population was rising. However, in 2014, the population decreased. And according to the Census Bureau, they have estimated that it will continue to decrease. So this is not a good indicator because you want to move your location to a city and a county where the population is going to be booming, more people will be coming in, and more people will be able to buy your goods. So we also have the unemployment rate here. And you can see that the unemployment rate in 2010 was 11.5%, but it gradually decreased in 2011 to 9.5%, all the way down to 2014 to 5.0%. So this is a very good indicator because you can see that the unemployment rate is going down, people are getting more jobs, and that is a sign that businesses are doing well. If a business is doing well, it's growing, it needs to hire more workers, and that is represented in these statistics. So here we have per capita income. So the red line shows the per capita income in the United States. The blue line shows the per capita income in Ohio, and the green line shows per capita income for Champaign County specifically. And it shows this over time, all the way from 1869 to 2014. So as you can see here, Champaign County is significantly lower than Ohio and the United States. So this is not a good sign. You want the location that you're building your store to be up there with the income of the rest of the country. But we can also see that up here, the per capita income, although it rose in about 2010, it's now decreasing. So this is another bad indicator that might indicate that you don't want to build a new store in Champaign County. So next we're going to look at establishments, employment, and wages. So retail is a private sector, so we're going to look at private sector specifically. So private sector is here up at the top, and this shows the changes in all of these different factors since 2008. So first of all, we're going to look at the number of establishments. And we can see all the way here at the top that the number of establishments has decreased by 9.5%. So this is not a good indicator because you want businesses to be doing well, for there to be more businesses opening up, not businesses closing and leaving. On the other hand, we have average employment, which has been increasing by 2.7% since 2008. And we have total wages increasing 15.8% all the way over here. And then finally, the average weekly wage increasing by 12.8%. So these are also really good indicators. Although the number of establishments is increasing, the others are all the number of establishments are decreasing, the other factors are all increasing, and that's a good indicator. So finally, we have the quality of life. So I just included a few different factors because quality of life is so subjective. I just picked a few things that were important to me specifically. So first of all, we have health. And in Champaign County, 10.1% of people under the age of 65 are without health insurance. As unfortunate as this is a lower statistic than the rest of the country. In the U.S. as a whole, it's about 13% of people that have that do not have health insurance. So this is a good number, a good indicator that it is less than the national average. Now we have history, and history is important as quality of life. And as you may know, Ohioans are very proud, and so this is reflected in the history of the state. We have a very rich history, and we have a lot of traditions. So that's a good indicator. And finally, we have education. Champaign County has 15 public schools, and 87.4% of the population in Champaign County has a high school degree or higher. And this is also a good indicator because the national average is about 88%. So this is about equal to the national average, which again is a really good indicator. So finally, we have an overview of all the different indicators that we looked at for Champaign County specifically. So the bad indicators are in red and the good indicators are in green. So you can see that on the top, population estimation is in red because the population has been shown to be decreasing and is estimated to keep decreasing all the way up to 2040 and possibly even longer. So that's not a good indicator because you want the population to be increasing. We also have the unemployment rate in green because the unemployment rate was also decreasing, which means that businesses are doing well and are able to hire more people. Per capita personal income is in red because it was shown to be significantly lower than the average in the United States and the average in Ohio. In addition to this, the number of establishments is also in red because the number of establishments was shown to be decreasing since 2008, and that's not a good indicator that establishments are closing or moving away. On the other hand, we have average employment in green because that's a good indicator. The average employment was increasing since 2008, as were the total wages and the average weekly wage. And then, as I said before, quality of life is more subjective. We don't have any numbers to compare, but it's in my personal opinion that the quality of life is a good indicator in Champaign County. So these are my sources, and overall, we can say that looking at these indicators here, we have 5 indicators in green, which means they're good indicators, and only 3 in red. So overall, it can be said that Champaign County seems like it would be a good location to start a business. It's showing that it has economic growth, and if you move your company there, then hopefully you can build off of this economic growth and be successful. Thank you.